this one. I'd like to thank everyone for coming to today's press conference to honor our upper state champions and the baseball team. So let's give them a round of applause. I'm Mike Gentry, the athletic director here at Landrum High School, and I just want to say a few things about the team before I turn it over to Coach Little. It's been a pleasure over the last 5 years, I know Coach Little has been here 6, to watch him put together a program. We've added a C team, and to put together a coaching staff, and to just handle 3 teams on a year-in, year-out basis. It's been a fun process to watch. And I'm sure he'll say that it takes a lot of good coaches, good players, coachable kids, and that's exactly what we have this year. So I'm very proud of what Coach Little and his staff and his players have done this year. I'm going to turn it over to Coach Little right now. He's going to say a few remarks.
I'm not a big talker, so it'll be brief. All right. Just a few people I want to thank before we start. First off, I want to thank Dr. Garner, Mr. McCraw, all our district office staff, Ms. Williams. We have great district support. Our school level support is unbelievable. Mr. Flynn, Coach Gentry, Mr. Fowler, Ms. Sloan, our whole staff. It's just an unbelievable community here in Landrum. And 6 years ago when we got here, Landrum baseball kind of fell on some hard times. We've been through 4 or 5 different head coaches in 4 years, and we were looking to stay the course and right the ship. And it was a long process, and the first thing we did was we wanted to surround ourselves with great people. And one of my first meetings was with Coach Henson here. And Coach Henson was a state championship player here, and we knew from the get-go to be successful we had to have good people. And my first meeting was with him at the Clock Restaurant in Greer, South Carolina. And he probably thought that I was a little crazy and didn't know what he was getting into, but we have stayed the course, and this community has backed us through the good times, the thick and the thin, and we're excited to be here. Just to talk a little bit about what we have here, where our plan was to have our 3 seniors up here. Michael Clark, John Sierra, and our 3rd senior is Andrew Steele, who's a little under the weather right now, but he's going to be okay. So we monitor and adjust what great teams do, and we brought 2 guys up here, have been our 2 region starting pitchers, and our 2 mainstays on the mound. We have Evan Sierra and Todd Harris. And as we describe this team, I'm going to be honest with you, if we were to get in a bar fight, we would be in the lightweight division. If you see us in the handshake line, we look like a JV team compared to most teams. We're not a big group, but there's no moment that's been too big for this group. Every day, every game, no one picked this team to win the region at the beginning of the year. Nobody picked this team to be in this position, and they're here despite all that. And every game that, they thought the moment may be too big for them, or the pitcher was too good, or we didn't have enough bats, or whatever, they found a way. And they're sitting here right now 26-3. First region championship in 2A. 2nd district title in the last 3 years. First upper state championship since being in 2A. And this also makes every decade since the existence of Landrum baseball, Landrum's played the state championship. Since the 1970s when Coach Coley started this program. And one of our things with our program is we didn't build this program, we inherited it. This program's been good for a long time, and it was our job to get it back. And it took a lot. And it took a lot from these boys. We are very young. We started freshmen. We have multiple sophomores that play, multiple juniors play, and only 3 seniors to start. And whether they're a guy who's starting and hitting the first lineup or the guy on the last spot on the bench, every one of these 16 guys has been totally invested in the baseball program here. They all have. It's a 12-month process for them. And I think that's why it means so much for them, because even the guys that have only got a few at-bats have been lifting weights before school and playing ball in the summer and conditioning in the cold, practicing in the sleet. This is not just something they do. This is something they truly invest in, because we don't have 25, 50, a whole bunch of kids trying for baseball here, because they know if you're going to play baseball at Landrum High School, it's a job, and it's an absolute grind. But these are the few, the proud, and they have stuck with it through thick and thin, and they're here. And they're all commendable for that. And we have so much, we're so proud of them and have such respect. And another group I really want to send a shout out to, another, beside, obviously the players are the most important part of your program. We have good players, good people, do the right things, and are talented. Jimmys and Joes, they're obviously more important than X and O's. But you also have to have good coaches. I coach at 3 different schools. And by far, we have the best coaching staff that I've ever been around in high school baseball. We have 6 amazing assistant coaches. Coach Henson, as we said, has been with us for 6 years, and I call him our Brent Venables of defense. He's the pitching guru extraordinaire, and every year our pitching staff has had a 2.5 or less ERA, and this year's in the ones. And when you only give up 1 or 2 runs a game, it's not too hard to try to scrap a few out and win. He's been with us thick and thin all these 6 years. Another guy who's been with us 6 years is Justin Kirby. He was a volunteer, worked for free for years. He became our head C-team coach. He got married, had kids, had to give that up, but he's still a volunteer and still been with us every day he can, painting the field, doing everything that needs to be done, the little things. Coach Keith Hill has been with us 5 years. Me and Coach Hill are childhood buddies. We've been knowing each other since we were 7, 8 years old, playing on the Abbeville rec ball fields. And Coach Hills came in and been our head JV coach, worked with our hitters, our outfielders, and he's our mad scientist. We literally call him Dr. Hill. And every day he's trying to find any way to help these kids get better and dedicated to the game. We've had some other coaches that joined with us the last couple of years. Coach John Sierra has been with us the last 2 years, a tireless worker who does anything he can to help these boys be successful, from 6 a.m. workouts to extra ground balls after practice, to throwing in the cage and taking balls off the head, whatever it takes, he's doing it. Daniel Jackson has also been with us 2 years, was another state champion that played here at Landrum. He's a guy who's going back to school to get his college degree. He's been our JV assistant. He gets up to work every morning at 3 a.m. to go to work, delivering, packing boxes, then goes to school, and then comes here and coaches baseball. That's dedication. And another coach on our staff is Coach Brent Driggers, who is a varsity defensive coordinator of football. And when we needed it, he came and coached our C-team baseball team. He's done it the last 2 years and does whatever needs to be done. Drives the bus, whatever needs to be done, coaches the base. You name it, he does it. And we have 6 really unbelievable assistant coaches. And that's the backbone of our program, the players and the assistants. I mean, I'm going to tell you, we walk out the field, we're a small army out there. But those are the brains behind the operation. It's my job just to make sure we get where we need to go. Google Map and make sure we know where we're going. But we're very proud of this group. This is back where Landrum is supposed to be. And it's the best is yet to come. And we thank you for your support. And we're not done yet. We know what we're up against, a very quality program out of Mount Pleasant, Oceanside Collegiate. But we're ready for the challenge, and we thank you for your support. And we'll open up for questions this time. Yes, Jim?
Coach, you talked about not being picked and not being looked very favorably upon to maybe start the season. And the way the schedule fell, you got to go play the reigning 2A player of the year on the mound at Blacksburg, and probably one of the best pitchers in 2A at the time. To beat them, not only to get the win, but to beat them in an absolute pitcher's duel, I think it was 2-1, right? How much did that spur some early success and get y'all a little more comfortable?
No doubt that set the tone for our season. To go on the road, face a Tennessee commit, I mean, a guy who you know every night is going to give up maybe a run. And at that point, we were a very young team because we had 3 to 4 sophomores start, a freshman start. And I think the key moment to kind of jumpstart our season was when we were down 1-0 there late. We had a 10th grader back. We had 2 10th graders on the bases. And we tied the game up there with young guys making big plays, and then took the lead when the senior had a big sac fly, John Sierra. And those young guys, Coleman Jackson, Cooper Gentry, Noah Hyder, Coleman into play, those 2 guys on the bases, that kind of set the tone to tell these guys we can beat anybody. And I'm going to tell you, I think our guys are brilliant. That's still the best pitcher we've seen all year at this point. And to go on the road and to win that game, it really did. It spring us. It got us the confidence to know we can beat anybody. Yes.
Coach, you mentioned your team has just 3 seniors. Talk a little bit about the character and the leadership of those guys and how it got some of the younger guys to kind of fall in line to lead to the success that you've had this year.
Our 3 seniors have all been multiple-year starters. Mike and Xander, who's not here, have been 3-year starters. They played on our last district championship team 2 years ago. We had to go on the road and win 2 at Abbeville. That was currently the number 1 team at the state time to win district. And then John, who's been with us the last 2 years, was a 2-year starter. And those guys have been in big games and big situations. And those older guys, the younger guys looked to them, and they never flinched. And they knew that we can do this, and they just kind of led by example.
You guys always put #Wombat on everything that's out there. Is that the team spirit animal, or am I saying it right? Or, I mean, you know, the wombat's a little animal in Australia. I just wondered if y'all want to give a little insight on that.
This is your thing, man.
Okay, so I think me and Laura were sitting in the coach's office for probably 3 hours one day trying to come up with a hashtag for this baseball season. And we were trying to come up with a phrase that could kind of still be a word, and we ended up with Wombat, which means we over me, be a teammate. So that's kind of what we've went by this year. We don't want any me guys. Put the team before yourself, and that's kind of where Wombat came from.
This is for Todd and Evan. You guys look remarkably alike on paper in the record books. On the mound, what do you look like? How are you different from one another? What do you do that keeps other teams off balance?
So I think definitely what separates us first is obviously Evan's right-handed and I'm left-handed. So,
Besides that, sorry.
probably Evan throws significantly harder. I sit 78,
Yeah, that's fun.
sitting 83, 84, probably higher. And just like our focus is probably the same. We both pitch the outside and try to outsmart our opponents. But I think my movement, the first from Evans, mine definitely moves a lot more, but his speed definitely evens the playing field. So it's harder for hitters, no matter who's pitching, for them to keep up with the ball, no matter what we're throwing.
Coach Hudson does a great job with calling pitches too. It goes all back to him. Todd and I can't do anything if he doesn't call good pitches. I mean, he's throwing great this year too.
This one's for Coach Henson. They say pitching and defense wins championships. Talk a little bit about just what your teams look like defensively. Do they make some great plays, or do they just consistently make the routine plays that you ask them to make?
They'll do both. We very often, I'll give Michael Clark some shots. He's made some Star Wars type catches and stuff this year. I mean, balls that just are, maybe left up a little bit on accident, that get touched up a little bit, and Michael's diving head first into a fence, making catches and gaps. Todd also plays outfield. He does a great job. If Todd's on the mound, my goal as pitching coach is to get guys to roll over and hit it to short, so Evan will be there to throw them out. It's really easy defensively with guys like this. They don't really want to brag on themselves a lot, but these 2 pitchers up here have sub-1 ERAs, 29 games into the season, which is very impressive. So, that's a big part of why we've been successful. The games that we've won have been in large part due to these guys throwing strikes and our defense is making all the plays behind them. Very few errors in those wins.
What's been y'all's most memorable game this season that you feel like?
I think one of the most defining games we've probably had was against Greer Mill College early in the season. We were sitting there undefeated, thinking we were hot stuff, and we went out there and played probably one of the worst baseball games a lot of people had seen in a while from us. And I think that was huge just because it made everyone refocus. Early in the season, it's good to kind of face some adversity. Coach always talks about having to bounce back. And so facing that early in the season really helped us recenter our focus. And now we had to straighten up if we wanted to really reach our goals, making it to a state championship again. Also, like the past two, the upper state championship game and district championship game, being able to lose the first game and having our backs against the wall and being able to fight back and having some pretty big victories in those second games, only giving up like 1 or 2 runs in each of them. Just being able, again, like Coach Little talks about, playing one pitch at a time every single time is what our focus is. And so being able to do that through 6 hours of baseball, it definitely shows the resilience of the team. And so I think having that confidence to know we can have the ability to outlast somebody is a really good trait to have.
Okay, one more. So are there any superstitions this year? I noticed a little bit longer hair on a few of you. Maybe, is there something that y'all done or won't stop doing until the end?
A little is quite an understatement. We have a collection of different items that we keep throughout the dugout. We have hammers, hatchets. We have lots of just very odd things to keep us keep it light in the dugout. Because one of the things we haven't had to deal with this season is being too uptight at any given moment. There's always people laughing, always people having fun. We haven't, or at least me and John haven't cut our hair since we lost rear middle. So that's another superstition. Everybody has their own things. Different people have to bring certain things. I have to get like a Sprite or a Mountain Dew every time from a gas station before we go somewhere to play. So I don't know. I guess it's just a baseball thing, or we're crazy. But
Did y'all consider naming the steak, keeping it as a pet?
the snake.
Not at all.
Yeah. We don't like snakes.
He came back after everybody left.
Did he came back?
He came back.
Oh my God.
I'm not interested in that.
Let's put a rule. Just me and Coach Little there, then for ourselves. Coach Gentry and Mr. Flynn left us.
I'll get one more for the seniors. Just for you guys, from where the baseball program was when you got here as freshmen to where it is now, and where you're going to leave it, obviously upper state champions, and hopefully that's not all. What's that mean to you to bring it from where it was to where it'll be when your careers are done here at Landrum?
I came here when my junior year. So the baseball team, we were pretty decent then, but we just didn't go all the way. Honestly, leaving this team is going to be one of the hardest things ever because I love these boys. They make it what it is. Even in the group chat, it's crazy sometimes. And I'll let Mike take it from freshman year.
Yeah, so we got really, really lucky. I've grown up in Landrum, played baseball my whole life, and so baseball's been a huge thing growing up. Now we have to live up to a high standard. And so going through high school, you're always looking forward to see, when we're seniors, who's going to be playing where, And then we got just straight God's grace. We got sent 2 stud pitchers, a great relief pitcher, do-it-all infielder. We've had a lot of really just blessings. And so being able to go out there and have such a tight-knit team with guys that either just got here last year or 2 years ago or played together our entire lives, it's definitely something special, and to play in front of a community that's so big around baseball, in front of huge crowds and state and upper state championship games, it definitely means a lot.
Before we close out, I want you to understand that I'm kind of a little uptight of the group. They keep the guys stay loose and all, but I'm always trying to figure out other teams' weaknesses. Scouting always. And the big thing about this year's group, I think, with ours is we always try to look at ourselves and kind of self-scout. And it's very hard to find weaknesses on our team. Most times you got a guy you can attack here or there, but our boys have done such a good job of working on their craft and putting in the time and the effort that it's very hard to find a weak spot. And me and Coach Henson talked about the other night that even guys that don't play much, even in the Upper State Championship Series, I think all but 2 of our guys even got in the game. We play a lot of players and get opportunities, whether it's courtesy running, whatever it is, whether a guy has to get in foul balls, catching the pitch, whatever it is, our kids have literally bought into what their role is. And, you get to the point now where, everybody doesn't play the same. Okay, it's not LA, it's not, rec ball or USSSA, but our kids have truly bought into what their role is, and they're all in for each other because, like we tell them from the beginning, whether you're the guy at the front of the line, best on the team, or you're the guy at the end, going up the redneck hill, getting the foul balls, if you can take care of business and stay together as a family, you all get the same ring. And they truly bought into that concept, and we're so proud of them. We're very appreciative and blessed to have this group of young men be able to coach.
I'd like to thank these 6 gentlemen up here for representing not only Landrum High School, but our athletic program. They do an outstanding job on a daily basis. Just to give you some details of the state championship series, Game 1 is scheduled for tomorrow at 6 p.m. Game 2 is scheduled for Tuesday at Oceanside at 6 p.m. However, most of you are aware that we have a large threat of rain tomorrow. A decision will be made about that either this afternoon or first thing in the morning. And the rain plan would be to postpone to Monday at 6 p.m., which would be here. And then Game 2 would be Wednesday at Oceanside at 6 p.m. And again, a decision on tomorrow's game hopefully will be made this afternoon. If not, it will be first thing in the morning, and we will get that out through our district office, Facebook, Twitter, Remind, and to our local media outlets. So if there are no other questions, I would like for all the baseball team, the varsity team, to get up here. We're going to take